Classroom Environment, Schedule, Expectations, and Procedures for Pre-K Half-Day Classes by Ricardo Ramirez. We're going to be talking about classroom organizational structures, including the physical classroom environment, schedule, the procedures, expectations, and safety plan. Now, all this is based on the classroom that I'm working in right now, which is a pre-K classroom in an elementary school in Tucson, Arizona. And this is basically what we do every day, except for Wednesdays. We have a dramatic play area with a little kitchen set, table where kids can sit in, and here they can pretend to cook or run a restaurant. And we have a closet full of costumes that they can wear. Right next to that is a block area where we have blocks of different shapes and sizes and materials that they can use to build with. We also have a wooden train set that they can use along with the blocks to build. Um, each of the little individual pieces, they go in boxes, and all the boxes have pictures of them on the shelf so that the kids know where to put them when it's time to clean up. We have a circle time area with a giant rug that has enough space to sit 16 kids because that's what we have right now. And in this area, they're also allowed enough space so that they can move around and dance. In our circle time, we do have a Promethean board, which is basically a giant TV screen that acts as a computer. And the kids, that's the video screen where we'll show kids educational videos and also videos that will help them get up and move. We also include musical instruments so that they can get out there and make their own music. And on this Promethean board as well, we also use it as a drawing board that they can use during free time. We have a library area with books that are age appropriate for kids between 3 and 5 years of age. We have hand puppets that help that we use when we read books to them to keep them entertained. We also have a comfortable lounge chair, and this chair is in a kind of it's got its own enclosure, and this is our calming area for our exceptional students because we are an integrated classroom. And there are times when it just gets a little bit too chaotic for these exceptional students, and they can find refuge in that calming corner. We have math and puzzle area, and the puzzles are age appropriate puzzles that you know they are all kinds of puzzles having to do with math or just pictures. And in all these areas, we actually change out quite a bit of the activities depending on what subject matter we're learning. So right now we're learning about bugs and blooms. And so right now we have a lot of puzzles having to do with plants. In our library, we have bugs that have to do with gardening and bugs. And so, every month or so, we'll change it out to something new. In about a couple of weeks, we're going to change it over to ocean. So all these things that we had for bugs and blooms, they'll be stored away, and we'll add in some new things. Um, in the math puzzle area, we have counting materials. We have signage depicting basic math, arithmetic, and subtraction, so that they will become familiar with it, and it'll help them transition into the kindergarten and first grade. They already have some knowledge about that. Art and writing area, we have anything that they could use to create art with easel, paint, scissors, stamps, stickers, anything you can imagine that they can use to make art, we have it there. And we also have a wall where we display their art so that when the parents come in, they can see what they've done. And then we also ask the kids questions about their art and why they created certain things so that when the parents come in, they don't just see like a scribbly thing on the wall. They will learn that that's actually a happy dinosaur that came into class that day. And our writing area, we have different size pens and crayons that they can use to perfect their pincher techniques. And we also have their names laminated in different stages of writing so that as they master one level, we switch that out for another version of their name that adds a little bit more challenge to the writing structure. And we also at times give these laminated sheets to the family so they can take them home and practice at home as well. We have our eating area with tables and a sink nearby, and this is where the kids will eat their breakfast or lunch, and they will eat their snacks there. And we have signage throughout the area there to show them how to wash their hands properly, and also how to conduct themselves when we are sitting down and eating. Our science area has a sensory table, and it's primarily filled with rice or sand. Right now, it's green dyed sand to represent grass, and then we've put in like plastic flowers and little bugs and whatnot that they can use, that they can manipulate with scoops and different things like that to play with them. We also have right now a hydroponic growing system that the kids can use to see how plants grow. They can see the different parts of the plants, including the roots and the stems and whatnot. Um, and now our classroom design is important because we want to create an environment where the children feel comfortable by learning and by keeping their interest um, going so they don't get bored with what we got going on. Also, the classroom should be arranged not only to support learning, but to deter challenging behavior. And this is important for us. This is why we don't have an open floor plan, because we found that when we did that, kids were running around and getting super worked up. And so what we did is we rearranged the shelves and the tables so that now you kind of have to maneuver yourself around the room, and we've eliminated the opportunities for them to just run around, and we've reduced the amount of challenging behaviors that we've faced in the classroom. Now, the procedures here: when they enter the classroom, they come in, they put their backpacks and their water bottles in their cubby holes, they get their name tags, and they walk them over to our chore chart where they can pick a chore to do during class. And this helps them have ownership in the classroom, and it helps them help us maintain the classroom structure. Parents have a sign in, sign out sheet that they have to fill out for licensing. And then when kids come in or when they leave the classroom, we always greet them or bid them farewell to let them know that they are appreciated and they're wanted in the room, and that we love having them with us in the classroom. Here's our schedule. They arrive at 8:30 a.m. Um, the breakfast is served at 8:45. Circle time starts at 9 o'clock, and then at 9:30 we do an activity, and that's some sort of artistic activity having to do with the letter or subject matter that we're dealing with. Now, before we transition from one activity to another, we always give them like a 5 minute heads up to let them know, okay, guys, in 5 minutes we're gonna, breakfast is gonna be here, or we're gonna go into circle time, and then we start getting them ready to transition into the next section. So then that way it's just an easier uh, move from one area to another. At 10 a.m., it's recess time for the kids. At 10:30, it's snack time. We come back inside, um, wash our hands. 10:45, we clean up after snack. And at 10:55, we do our cleanup song and we get them ready to leave. And we call them up one by one as the parents start arriving at 11. During all this time, there is constantly washing of hands and making sure that we're cleaning up after ourselves after we complete each um, section and move on to a new activity. Having a predictable schedule provides children stability in their lives. Most children feel safer and more secure than uh, when they can count on a consistent daily routine. This is something that we build through our classroom. We have visual reminders, letting them know what it is that we're going to be doing throughout the day. We have those posted all throughout the classroom, and we carry them also on our lanyard. We have little cue cards, picture cue cards that we can show them and say, okay, now it's time for this. Now we're going to go into this. Um, and so we have them handy right with us. Every now and then we do have to deviate from the schedule, but that's because sometimes the kids come in and dysregulated, and we try to adjust our classroom to suit their needs. But we try to stick to our schedule, but every now and then we kind of have to move away from it just to make sure we have control of the classroom. Expectation of the classrooms, they can be applied to every area of the classroom and the activities we participate in. Students are expected to play well and be kind to others, to listen to their teachers, to own their mistakes and be truthful, and don't be afraid to ask for help and don't give up. Teachers have to be understanding when children make mistakes. We communicate effectively with each other, understand that parents are our partners in the success of their children, and ensure that the children's comfort and safety is our main priority. Um, the reflection of the expectation is that when we set expectations for both the children's teachers, it helps us to be accountable to each other. We model the behavior we want them to adopt, and they look up to us as role models. And so it's important that we provide a loving environment where they can grow academically and personally, and they can see how adults interact with each other in a positive manner. Our safety plan, we practice our fire drills and emergency shelter in place drills once a month. For both drills, when they happen, the teachers grab the radios and the emergency backpack, which contains our first aid and student information packet. For the fire drill, we line up at the back door, we count our kids, and we walk out the back door and meet along the fence away from the building. We recount our students when we're there, and we wait for the all clear. Once inside, we recount the students again. For shelter in place, it's important to note that our classroom doors remain locked throughout the day and that the window is covered. We count our kids and then we usher them into the bathroom and close the door. And then we wait for the all clear, exit the bathroom, and count the students once again. Safety plan reflection is we practice this because we want the children to become accustomed to these procedures so that in case something does happen, it's not a surprise and they are able to move from what it is that we're doing to these drills without any surprises. And it'll become just another familiar activity that we participate in. And here are my references, and I hope you enjoyed my slideshow.